Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver
Hey guys,
now.
Bix Weir, road to Rooted.com. Silver bumping up again, 44 cents. We are getting into the dollar days, the $5 days, the $10 days, and then to unobtainium. Unobtainium happens when the COMEX shuts down. Now, why would the COMEX shut down? Force majeure. I'm sure they want to use that because they can get out of their bets. But more than likely, it will be the failing of one of the large, too big to fail banks. The derivative market is now 2.5 or so quadrillion dollars, and it is as teetering as it ever has been. I believe there's going to be two potential scapegoats to string up because they caused and orchestrated a lot of this mess. Number one, obviously, is JP Morgan Chase, the most criminal bank on the planet, the banker for Bernie Madoff, the banker for Jeffrey Epstein, personal banker. The JP Morgan board was 100% involved in all this, so was Jamie Dimon. So I think that would be a good bank to start with, and that's $55 trillion in derivatives that will be destroyed, wiping out every single financial institution on the planet. Sorry, no stocks, no bonds, no nothing. And then we try to start fresh. That's the key. What are we going to do? Are we going to trust the people currently in power to get us starting fresh? No. No deciders, decentralized everything in the future, and that's what I'm preparing for. That's why I have stacks of silver on the sidelines. But Bix, you can leverage it up and make more money. No, you will not get that money. When the exchange shuts down, that's it. You can't have an exchange without a bank, and you can't have a bank without JP Morgan Chase. And the other potential takedown is HSBC, who's been literally delivering silver all year on the COMEX. Why HSBC? Because they are the ones who destroyed China by getting them addicted to opium in the mid-1800s to get all the silver back that they were spending on teas and spices. I hope you guys know that story. Go look up Opium Wars, and the rig price suppression game with silver has been going on ever since. There's just more people who know about it, and the really cool thing is the heads of states know about it. As a matter of fact, Russia will create a new BRICS precious metal exchange to become the key regulator of prices. This is from the BRICS meeting. Now, if you didn't know, BRICS makes up about 50% of the population. The current members of the BRICS. It's not just Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It's India, China, Brazil, Russia, Ethiopia, Egypt, Iran, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and there's 30 other countries who want to get in on it. So it'll be more than half the population. I would say that gives them a little power. By the way, Russia has announced that they're going to be adding silver to their holdings with gold as strategic reserves. They can't. That would be my answer. They can't in these markets. The silver's just not there. It's needed for solar panels in China. It's needed for whatever's going on in India, which, by the way, Metals Focus came out a couple days ago. And I didn't really look at it, but I report on how much silver is imported, supposedly from the government documents into India every year, and it's massive this year, obviously. The old record is 300 million ounces. And you might be saying, oh my God, how is that even possible that 40% of the silver that's mined goes to one country? And that it doesn't have a massive industrial base. They are building it. Don't get me wrong. India is massively putting money into facilities to make solar panels. Maybe that's the reason all this silver is going over there right now. I don't know. It definitely is one of the reasons for China, which doesn't report its numbers. But for some reason, Metals Focus went off the reservation with their numbers in September. I had, the government releases these numbers, and it was about 10 million ounces for September. But Metals Focus came up with 30 million ounces. Now, usually they'll do the opposite. they're very anti-silver. They might be trying to cover their tracks now and blame India for the silver's massive run up in price. Oh, it was the Indians, I swear. It wasn't their flawed reporting on the amount of silver going into the solar panels made in China. It's so flawed and so ridiculous that everybody just scratches their head at the Silver Institute and Metals Focus, who provides them the numbers. And then Jeffrey Christian takes their numbers and massages it a little and pretends he's the one counting. It's so ridiculous, the whole thing. But yeah, I'll take their numbers if they're going to say it, and I'm sure they're going to use it as an excuse as to why silver's going crazy. Whatever. Metals Focus, you can do what you want, but the reality is they only imported 10 million ounces, and you're saying they imported 30 million ounces. Because it says down here, from Indian Customs, that's where I get the numbers, because they're required by law to report the imports. Now, I don't know where Metals Focus got an extra 20 million ounces, but it seems to me, knowing Metals Focus changes its numbers to fit the narrative every single year of what they're trying to say. They're going to try to say that it was the silver imports into India that really blew the roof off of the price of silver, not the 450 million ounces that are going into China this year just for solar panels. They're going to keep that number at probably 220, 230, less than half, basically. Sorry about that, guys. I had to split away for a second. Anyway, what does this all mean? Buy as much physical silver as you can. What happened at the BRICS summit? Let's see. President Xi Jinping and India Prime Minister Narendra Modi met just 2 days after New Delhi announced that it had reached a deal with Beijing to resolve 4-year military standoff. So you have China and India, two of the most populated countries in the world, joining forces. Both of them know exactly how to kill the Western bankers. Buy silver. It's that simple. And Russia, I'm surprised we haven't lobbed nukes on Russia yet, knowing this insane government we have. When they announced that they're going to be buying silver as a strategic asset to hold in their reserves. There's not enough silver in the world for that, not even close. Nowhere close. So, yeah, lots of leaders attended. Putin, who wanted to show the West's attempt to isolate Russia over Ukraine war has failed, was able to attract major leaders such as Xi, Modi, nearly 20 others, including Turkey's Erdogan. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres also attended. The BRICS waiting list. Putin said more than 30 countries had expressed desire to join the BRICS. That's 30 countries buying silver at some point. Everybody on the planet is going to be buying silver. That's why there's this thing that Cliff High coined called unobtainium. Unobtainium. Unobtainium is when you just can't get physical silver anywhere at any price. Physical silver, not the electronic blips that they trade to set price. I can see a world where the COMEX just keeps rigging away and you can't buy an ounce of silver anywhere for any amount of money. It wouldn't last long, but it's coming. Physical silver is not as plentiful as they tell you, and gold is massively more plentiful than they tell you. It's the opposite. And oh, by the way, banks don't hold any silver, as far as we know, physical. JP Morgan got some, but then had to lease it all out to Bank of America, who put it into the market. Now what's Bank of America going to do? A lot of it was a finance lease, meaning a fixed purchase price at the back end. But some of it had to go back. Where does it go back to? JP Morgan customers, whoever they are. Anyway, any bank that holds silver or holds gold is going to have to sell it all. They are a fractional reserve lender, meaning when things are going well, it's great. You create money out of thin air. When things pull back, you lose. You lose frantically selling assets. What is the most liquid assets right now? Gold, silver, and Bitcoin. There you go. Any of the banks that hold gold, silver, and Bitcoin they're going to be dumping it. I don't think any bank holds silver, physical silver. Now it's going to be Russia will. But that's a country. It's not a bank. Country's not required to dump everything. Banks are required by law to dump all their assets to pay off. When there's a run on the bank, you have to dump all your assets. There will be Bitcoin dumps. There will be silver, no silver dumps. I don't know anybody who has silver. There will be gold dumps. Most of the big banks have massive amounts of gold. So get ready for chaos. All you have to remember is be on the sidelines, sit on the sidelines. So go and wait, one more thing about that. There's 30 countries waiting. Ukraine war. BRICS leaders did raise the Ukraine war with Putin in different formats, but there was no sign that anything specific would be done to end the conflict. Trump will end that in a brief second. He'll just call up Putin and say, just stop it. And he will, because this is all planned. And then I'll be interested to see if China invades Taiwan before Trump gets inaugurated, or even potentially before the election, so next week, or right after the election. I don't think they're going to wait till after Trump gets into office on the 26th of January, something like that. So that's going to happen really fast. And it'll be over instantaneously, most likely. There is no defense. The United States will not come to the defense of Taiwan. China can take it back. So there you have it. And that's 95% of the high-end chips are made in Taiwan. If there's no blowing up buildings, China, that would be the last buildings they'd blow up. These things are multi-billion dollars, hundreds of $billions dollars to create these manufacturing plants that create the high-end chips. And if they're destroyed, we're looking at 10 years before we can recreate what was made over the last, 30. There you have it. BRICS money. BRICS predicted its influence will grow and outlined common projects ranging from grain exchange to cross-border payment system. That is not XRP, by the way. Here are the main points of that. BRICS key takeaways. All states should act consistently with the purpose and principles of the UN Charter in their entirety and interrelation. We note that appreciation relevant proposals of mediation and good offices aimed at a peaceful resolution of the conflict. On international financial systems reform, this is SWIFT, leading SWIFT. We underscore the need to reform the current international financial architecture to meet the global financial challenges, including global economic governance, to make the international financial architecture much more inclusive and just. Oh, Kamala must like that. Anyway, on the BRICS cross-border payment system, we recognize the widespread benefits of faster, low-cost, more efficient, transparent, safe, and inclusive cross-border payment instruments built upon the principle of minimizing trade barriers and non-discriminatory access. We welcome the use of local currencies in financial transactions between BRICS countries and their trading partners. Very interesting stuff. So the whole world is moving on while the United States of America twiddles its thumbs. At the end of the day, we're going to end the system. We're the largest debtor country in the world. We would gain the most. Okay. Again, if you don't have silver, you go to your local coin shop or contact Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. Send him an email, info at milesfranklin.com, and find out, buy what he has in inventory. You don't want to wait around. Sometimes it takes a couple weeks to get shipments, and especially Silver Eagles. My number one buy is U.S. coinage, pre-65 coinage. Number one by far. By far. It is the money of the United States of America. It's the constitutional money of the United States of America. It's harder to fake because it's smaller denominations. It's recognizable. And oh, by the way, we're going back to that. We are going back to constitutional money. So you will be guaranteed that your silver in circulation prior to 1964 will be honored by the United States in the future. Remember, when all the banks crashed, there is no money. So yeah, Social Security will be worth a lot, but there would be no money, and they'd have to reallocate. And I talk a lot about that on the Road to Rudah. Go to roadtorodah.com, join the private road. Currently, we're giving away 10 Theta, 100 theta fuel, and 1,000 T drop loaded on a paper wallet mailed to your front door. I know Theta's not moving. Bix, what's wrong with Theta? All the other cryptos are moving. What's wrong with Theta? If you've been in Theta long enough, you know that Theta is something special and something different. It reminds me a lot in the 1990s when the World Wide Web came out, and everyone's like, what the hell is that? That's stupid. Katie Couric in like 96, 97. 7 or 8 years after it was already introduced, Katie Couric's like, what? Email? You get mail through the internet? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And here we are just a couple decades later, and it is obviously without the internet, we wouldn't have today's society. And if they shut off the internet, we're going to find out real quick how much we relied on it. Because everything relies on it. Everything. Especially the economic machine, just-in-time delivery. Nobody wanted to hold anything in the warehouse. So literally, if you shut off the machine, you shut off the internet, it'll be days before everything's gone. So yeah, lots of chaos coming. Hang on tight, my friends. Again, go to roadroo.com, click on subscribe today, and subscribe to the private road. Get access to all great stuff, I swear. The latest is Unobtainium is the next card played. Russia buys silver, shows massive power. I dig deep into that one. Go check it out. And the power behind silver. Lots of silver stuff. Jenny going deep with what's going on, the secret agreements between the silver riggers and controllers. What happened, how it went down. Will Lair's stuff awesome about, a lot about moving to El Salvador, and he's living in both places now, but he's loving El Salvador because he has freedom. I'm sticking it out in the U.S. in case you're wondering. I'm fighting to the bitter end. I was born on the 4th of July. I'll probably die on the 4th of July one day. But yeah, I bleed red, white, and blue, so I'm not leaving. And I'm in the belly of the beast in California, so I might have to fight my way to stay, but I'm staying, and that is my lot in life, and that's where I'll continue to fight from. And I hope you guys will fight along with me. That's all I got for you. This is Bix Weir, roadroo.com. Talk to you later.